Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a Reuben casserole. I have several videos out that are different recipes regarding the Reuben sandwich, and y'all just loved them. So I found this casserole and I was like, you know, I need a casserole recipe. This may work. Of course, I'm going to do it my own way. You know how that goes. So you're going to need some rye bread, dark, light, or swirled. Now, my husband is like a die-hard Reuben sandwich fan. Me, not so much. But not crazy about the caraway seed or the rye bread. So instead of doing that type of bread, I did sourdough. Now, you don't have to do that. It's just another option for you. I just went to Walmart's bakery and got some sourdough bread, and it's, you know, their bread's not really that fresh, or it never has been for me. So this is like the perfect bread. It's dry enough to use. Probably could leave it out overnight and dry it out some more. The more you dry it out, the better it'll be. So, all right. So you're going to take about 12 slices, well, 10 slices for the actual casserole, and then the last 2 slices will be chopped for the top. So went ahead, took my 10 slices, split them up so I have a portion over to the side, because this is going to be kind of like a lasagna. It's going to be layered. Okay, so you need to preheat your oven to 350, and you need to grease your 13 by 9. I've already chopped up half of my bread and got it placed in the bottom. And in my store, my Walmart store, my local Walmart store, trying to find corned beef or pastrami is very difficult. So I have to kind of figure it out. So usually I use a lunch meat. And also I want to save money too. I don't want to spend tons and tons and tons of money on this. So usually what we do is we get probably this brand for the corned beef and this brand for the pastrami, and then I just mix them. Of course, you don't have to mix them at all. You can get one or the other, but that's how we do it. And so I went ahead and I just kind of chopped these up into the 2. They already come sliced, of course, but I just went ahead and kind of chopped them up a little bit further so that we would have a little bit more. Usually a pack of pastrami and 2 or 3 packs of the really thin, the Hillshire Farm, one pack of that, and then 2 or 3 packs of the other real small thin packets of the budding, or any cheap lunch meat that you can find like that will work. Also, did not have any shredded Swiss. Never even heard of shredded Swiss, so I don't even know anything about that. So we're going to use some regular slices that are cut into strips. Okay, so after you put your meat over the bread cubes, you are going to want to go ahead and, this is a mess, y'all. This is a mess. Okay, you're going to want to go ahead and put your sauerkraut down, and I'm just going to use my hands because it's just easier. So you're going to take a can of sauerkraut, and it doesn't matter, generic or not, it does not matter. Drain it really well. So I put it in my smallest little strainer colander thing that I have, and I pressed it like I would when I cook with frozen spinach. So it's the same thing. You're going to just kind of try to press all the liquid out that you can get out, because you don't need anything else making this any more wet. I was just looking to make sure that I'm not going to have to do 2 layers of this, because I wouldn't think so. You don't want it too much, and sauerkraut's very overpowering. All right, and then we're going to chop up some dill pickles to put on this, but instead of dill pickles, I'm going to do dill relish, because I feel like same thing, and I don't have to chop anything. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. Okay. So then we're gonna take some deer relish, and I just got the squeezable jar. And then I'm gonna take a spoon, kind of spread it out. He's gonna love this. Ugh. I'm not a fan. But hopefully it'll all work out. Okay. So I don't want to go too nuts with that, because you only need about a cup of 14-ounce can of sauerkraut pressed completely, you know, where you don't have all of that. Now, over the pickles and everything, we're going to get our cheese. Now, what I'm going to do is, since I couldn't find what it needed, I'm going to try to, you could probably leave it in slices instead of doing what I did, but I didn't want it to be too much, but then too little. I really wasn't sure, because the original recipe uses 4 cups of cheese. I'm not sure that I'm even going to use that much. We'll see. That's a lot, and you have to do this twice. So I'm just going to kind of layer it, see how it goes, lay it all out. Okay, so there we go. Excuse me. All right, so you do that, got that all done, and then you're going to top it with the remaining bread. I'm gonna get that ready. I'm gonna take off just a few for the very top. These are supposed to be 1-inch cubes, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm not sure that I even did exactly 1 inch, but you know. Just put a little here, a little there. Not quite like I did the bottom layer. Just a little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. Okay. Now, all right, so I'm gonna just press this just a little bit. Kind of press it down in there. And then some more meat. And you can leave them whole slices, but to me, this would be easier, you know, to cut up and everything, because it is a casserole. And you can even just tear it to shreds. This is a little bit of the pastrami. And honestly, you can either use, like I said, you can either do a combo of these, or you can do one or the other. If I had to pick, I would probably do pastrami, honestly. Okay, so then you got your meat here, and then your cheese. And I did buy extra of everything just in case, but I don't think I'm gonna need it. Like I said, I just don't want it too much cheesy, too much this, too much that. I'm all about ratio and trying to make sure that it's even, because I believe that's your taste. That's where your taste is going to come from. And I just don't want it too much of this or that. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out where I need the cheese to go. All right, and the last few little strips. And that was 1 pack of 8-ounce slices, I believe. Let me check that, make sure. Yeah. See, I have an extra pack. I used a whole pack of this. Alrighty. All right. So now, before we finish the rest of it, before it can go in the oven, there's a little bit we have to do still. So let me get this cleaned up real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so now we've got to put our little sauce over the top of this. So you need to take 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 2 eggs, we're gonna whisk all this stuff together. I'm gonna wipe off my hands. 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. So 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 2 eggs. I'm gonna just whisk these together real quick. We need 3/4 of a cup of Thousand Island dressing. And about 1/2 cup of milk. Let me get my measuring cup on that one to make sure that we don't go over. 1/2 cup of milk. Okay. So, milk, Thousand Island. Okay, y'all. So, this little concoction that you just made is going to have to be poured over all of this. And then we got to move on to the next part of the recipe. Okay, so you take the remaining breadcrumbs, cubed bread, not breadcrumbs, and take the last little tablespoon of butter, and you're going to toss all of this together. And you're going to put this on top of the casserole. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to toss this on top. And you can make these little cubes of bread smaller. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some nonstick spray and we're going to spray it on some foil and we're going to wrap this up. And you're going to bake this for about 40 minutes. You're going to remove the foil and you're going to bake for an additional 10 to 15 until the cheese is melted, bubbly, and the breadcrumbs are toasted. You need to watch it, make sure, because of the butter. 350 degrees? Yes, 350 degrees, 40 minutes. Take full off and do another 10 to 15. Okay, y'all, so this is the finished product. It did perfect. I kind of let it stay in there just probably closer to the 15-minute mark for, the top to get a little bit more toasty. But it did perfect. And I'm sure we'll be making this again. It smells really great. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.